guys, we are here with Glenn from Z-Man.
Yep. This guy.
Yeah, and we wanted to stop here and shoot a little bit of content because obviously Caleb and I have an entire bag full of Z-Man baits. But
because Caleb has great taste in baits, that's why.
that's right, that's right. But I'm super excited because Z-Man, you're releasing this for 2019?
Yep, releasing it this year. So it's our 7-inch DieZel minnow. We already make this bait right now in a 4-inch, but we added a 5 and a 7 this year, and this is the 7. And as this guy can tell you, and this guy can tell you, it has an incredible swimming action. And it doesn't take anything to get it going at all, because it's super soft. And of course, because it's elastic, it's not gonna break either. So we can afford to make our baits softer than other plastics so that you get all that great action out of it.
So I took this obviously down to the pond. I made about 5 or 6 casts with it, and I deliberately slowed my retrieve. I was just barely creeping my retrieve. Why? Because I want to let this sink down if I ID fish or if I've got them on electronics down in a water column or whatever, and I just want to slow reel this right past their face. The action on this bait, because this elastic is so soft, the action on this with an extremely slow retrieve, that tail was just going like this. So it had phenomenal action even with a really, really slow retrieve. And
then
here we go. Yeah, this is what you're really excited about.
This guy, he's pumped about that guy.
Giant.
The Giant TRD.
Yes.
Oh, how many inches is it now?
6.
6 inches. Look at that guy. He's huge.
A really thick body. Yes.
And here's the original.
Yep, that's the original. Yep.
TRD.
So you got the original TRD and now the Giant TRD. And like the other baits in the Ned rig system, and like everything else we do, we actually created the hook to fit it as well. Because all of our other Ned rig baits have a hook designed specifically for those. And this one we did the same thing with. This is called the Mag Shrooms. So the Mag Shrooms was designed with a 6-aught hook to fit this bait right here.
Here's your Mag Shrooms. Look at that big hook. It's designed to fit this Giant TRD.
Yep.
And guys,
the hook looks huge,
guys,
but
let
when you see it in that, it's not.
me bass fisherman. Can you imagine dragging this off rock ledges, bumping this down when the bass is suspended like right now and it's super hot, and maybe they're at 10, 15 feet, held up off different ledges, drag this guy down. And again, with Z-Man, you have this super elastic, so that thing just is going crazy in the water. Love it.
And then you can add a tail spinner to add even more action.
Oh, tell them about your tail spinner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, sometimes when you're fishing a Ned rig system and you run across dirtier water, instead of having to upsize your presentation, you can just add one of these spinners to the back of your TRD, and you've got instant attraction back there. So now you can swim this thing through dirty water, and you're still going to get the flash and attraction behind here, but you didn't have to upsize your bait or change baits to get a presentation for dirty water. So very effective, and it's got a system that's designed to go right in there and it's not going to tear out.
What are you brand new baits? Newer baits?
The newer baits, well, for example, the TRD BugZ, that's brand new right there, that little guy. So that's brand new. And then this, the TRD TicklerZ, this is also brand new as well. So these are both new ones in the Ned rig family.
Oh, that's almost like a tube, isn't it?
It's very similar to a tube, but a solid body, longer tentacles that are perfectly rounded so that they separate in the water.
I could see smallmouth just crushing both of these.
Right. And what's cool is like the ribs on this one, for example, when you put this in the water, it catches air bubbles on the way down. So when it gets down to the bottom and it hits the water, all the air bubbles just slowly release off of the bait and it just comes to life down there on the bottom.
Oh, that's great. Great. And you know what? The ribs, they hold scent better.
They do hold
so
scent,
if you put scent on these baits, these ribs hold the scent better.
And with Elastec, this material, and a lot of people don't know this, Elastec, in addition to being non-toxic, will absorb anything that's oil-based. So if you have an oil-based scent and put it on there, it'll fully absorb the oil, and then you have a fully scented bait.
Oh, that's great to know. I didn't know that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's the key. So if you want to scent it, make sure it's an oil-based scent, and this material will soak it up like a sponge.
Perfect.
And then,
because that's what we do with these. See, these are scented baits. And what we do with these baits is we actually tumble them in Procure Super Gel so they absorb all of the scent and the oil out of it. That's why you don't see any liquid in the bag. It's fully absorbed into the bait.
Wow, that's great to know.
And
Yeah.
are the Bang sticks new this year?
The Bang sticks are new as well. This is what we designed
Oh man.
for our Nico rig system.
Nico.
Because Nico's a very popular technique and very effective too.
Oh, it's
What we
extremely
did
effective.
is we developed a weight specifically for that, the Nico shrooms, and to go with the Bang sticks. So now you've got the ideal Nico presentation. Like this guy right here. So there's the weight in the end of that.
Yeah.
And then you can just wacky rig this.
But this Elastec floats, that's why.
That's
Watch
why
this, watch this. Get a close up right here. Look at this. Okay, so imagine you cast that out. Watch what happens. That bait sticks straight up off the bottom. So as you work that bait across the bottom, this bait, the presentation of that bait stays straight up off the bottom.
It's
The whole
exact
time.
same with almost every other.
And that little guy, I like that you got him on a little Nico head, huh?
No, actually he's on
Oh.
the, that's on a Nedlox jig
Oh,
head.
wow, that's
But
great.
this one you'll be able to see now when I drop them in there. See all the air bubbles that are caught on the ribs?
Yeah.
And as you move that bait, all of those air bubbles start to come off. And the other cool thing is, the nice thing about this, a lot of people have to put O-rings and stuff on their baits when
Right.
they wacky rig. You don't have to with Elastec. Because this material doesn't tear, so I can stick any hook, stick it in there, wacky rig, and it's not going to tear out.
That's
See, so that's rigged up and ready to go. I don't need any extra O-rings or gaskets or
so
anything
you
like
just
that.
you just with other
Okay,
baits
go
you're
fishing.
going through bags and bags of bait, especially if you're tearing fish up.
Absolutely.
You're catching
Yep.
a bunch of fish, you're like
Yep.
throwing it off to the side. Yes, you can use a ring, but I love the fact
You don't
that
need it with
have
that.
to, you don't have to have a ring.
Don't need it.
Sticks I made when I was Nico rigging
Excellent.
with Z-Man baits. One, I put a normal Nico lead head weight through it, into the Nico for my
Right.
weight. And two, I used a ring. One of those things I didn't need, I could have now gotten a Ned rig on the new
Yep.
Nico shrooms. I could have got one of those, and
Okay.
I wouldn't have needed a ring because of the elastic.
So
Yeah.
so we're gonna load up on these. We're gonna wind up buying a bunch of those. And what we'll do, guys, what we will do is we'll spend some time on the water. We appreciate Glenn taking the time with us. We're gonna get out on the water with. I'm super excited about the Giant TRD. We're gonna buy some of this product, get out on the water with, and then we'll come back to you guys and let you guys see maybe some footage of fish caught on this product. We appreciate it, man. Thanks.
I'm just glad that Caleb was able to spend time with me because I know he's important. And just remember us little people when you're famous. I mean, that's really, yeah.
Exactly.
That's all I ask.
All right, thanks.
Just remember that Glenn guy, you know?
All right.
He was kind of cool.
All right.